lift the curtain, it rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just
All right. Good morning. You are tuned into 1100 WSGI, and this is Lee Marie filling in for U-Turn Laverne. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for today. Thank you for all of the blessings. Take this show where you want it to go. May you guide our words. May you guide all of our steps today. We love you. We praise you. We need you. In the mighty name of Jesus, amen. All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, you are Mr. David Walker.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you are with the Flag Football League. Is that what it's?
Yes, ma'am. It's Robertson County Flag Football League.
Okay. Robertson County Flag Football League.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right. And you guys have a big event coming up, yes?
Yes, ma'am. We have a big day coming up. Saturday morning, it's the opening of our flag football season. So we have a big event planned with like free hot dogs, drinks for the families, for anybody that come out and support, which we encourage the community to come out and cheer these kids on. We have a couple of Titans football players coming. Albert Hainsworth is supposed to stop by, was going to stop by. Otis Reese, which he's a rookie that was just drafted by the Titans. He's a cornerback, and then the Titans cheerleader. So we trying to make it a special event for the kids. So,
cool.
Make that day for them.
Those cheerleaders are awesome. The first year that we lived here, I actually got to work with them, and they were so nice. And, one thing that I loved especially is the prayers that they did before the games were just beautiful prayers. And, anyways, I had a different vision of what professional cheerleaders would be like until I worked a whole season with them, and I was blown away how.
Well, if they come out and they don't do their prayer, I'm gonna say, Lee Marie said, y'all do an amazing prayer, so I want to hear it.
That's right. So now the season kicks off, but then also an event. Is the event right before the season?
No, the event is right after. So It's the Huddle Jam. It's the first annual Huddle Jam, and what we wanting to do with the Huddle Jam is that we want to have a spinoff with the Flag Football League and open up or start a mentoring program.
Oh.
So this is our fundraiser to try to kick off the mentorship program that we are wanting to start under the umbrella with the Robertson County Flag Football.
Oh, okay. And then the Flag Football program, can people still join?
It'll be a spring season. Registration ended back in July.
Okay.
Because, we had to get uniforms ordered and, in the whole 9 yards. So we finally got all of that squared away. So like I said, the season will kick off. We having our run out where all the kids are going to run out together at 9 o'clock that morning. Then right after 9 is when our first game will start up. So we're looking to start probably 9:05 to 9:10.
Okay.
Starting the first game.
Okay.
And then the Huddle Jam, like I said, it follows right after this opening day. So we'll have it's a concert, and we have 4 artists that's gonna perform. And in between each artist intermission, we'll have a DJ that's gonna be mixing and scratching. We'll have a couple of hosts to try to make it entertaining and fun.
Okay.
So it's just something that's ideas that we are trying to put together to at least bring the community together, to bring concerts that's affordable to Robertson County.
So you mentioned affordable. So how much is it to get into the Huddle Jam?
The Huddle Jam, you can buy general admission is $30, floor seats is $40, and then we have VIP tables for businesses or whatever for $1,000, and it comes up. I think it's 10 people to a table.
Oh, okay.
And right now, I think we have sold five to 6 tables. So there's still a few available if anybody wants any.
All right. So hear that, businesses. If you want to support a real great cause that's going to bring the community together. And I mean, there's so many great things about, being on a team like that.
Yeah.
So many things. Now, what are the ages for the flag football?
The flag football, and it's sad because it was from, I think it was 8 years. No, I take that back. 6 years old, 5 and 6 years old up until 17 years old.
Oh.
But our older group, we had to cancel because we only had enough kids to sign up to where we had one team. So we had to refund those families their money. But it's not just in Robertson County, because we reached out to Nolensville, Sumner County, Pleasant View. We reached out to a lot of surrounding counties to try to schedule games, and then they had the same issue with their older kids as well.
Okay, so what are the ages now that are cut out of it?
The ages cut out of it now 16 to 17-year-olds. So we got 14U, so it goes up to 14, 15.
Okay, up to 14 or 15. Okay, all right, yeah. So, how many teams? I mean, is this just one team in Robertson County, or are there several teams?
Well, at first we had 135 kids to sign up. So when we broke them down into our age groups, I think we ended up with roughly 6, 8, 10, 14U. I think it was right at about 18 teams, maybe.
Really?
Something like that. Yeah.
That is amazing.
So like I said, the first year, it's our first year. So to get 135 kids, and like I said, as a board member and a coach of the league, is just trying to make the kids have fun, so they'll return and go spread the word to the next kid. So
Right. And I mean, I played softball for like 9 years when I was a kid, like second grade. Actually, I played like second grade to ninth grade, and I still remember those times as being just some of the happiest times of my life, because just all of the sportsmanship, the camaraderie on the teams. I mean, you learn so much.
you actually do. And I tell people all the time, see, I volunteer coach in high school basketball, junior pro baseball, just anything dealing with sports, especially when my kids are playing it, that I participate in coaching because I know how it impacted my own life. And like you say, the mentorship that you get from your coaches,
Oh, yeah.
So it's a great thing, especially when people volunteer their time to,
Right.
to work with the youth.
And it takes a lot of volunteers.
It takes a lot, and we had an issue with volunteers because we had some that back out at the last minute because of job or whatever it is. So that's why the board members, we had to step up and coach a team, maybe two teams. So, but like I said, we had the volunteers to step up. We greatly appreciate the ones that did step up.
Are you still looking for more volunteers?
We always looking for volunteers, and in nonprofit, you can't go without enough volunteers.
All right, hear that, y'all? So you got some different ways to support this league. So, of course, if you have a business, you want to buy a table for $1,000 for 10 people, you can do that. But if you don't have the money to put towards it, you can always volunteer some of your time.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that sometimes, parents that are watching these games will get emotional and get kind of, a little crazy, and that's one thing I also remember from my games. I mean, for the most part, I would say like 85% of the games that I was in, the parents were good. Like if there was a call that was bad, they'd be like, okay, it happens. But I remember like 15% of the time, some
Always going to have those
and
handful of parents.
so, this is just a reminder to all of you out there. I mean, be a good, sport.
You're a good sport because ultimately we all are there for the kids.
Right. And they don't want to see, they would rather lose the game than see their parent become a maniac, over a bad
Embarrass them.
call. Yes.
Embarrass them.
It's very embarrassing. Now, my mom never did that. So I'm not speaking from there in experience, but I know that I've seen where parents have gotten crazy and the kids just, their heads go down and they're like, oh man, they don't even want to be there anymore. They don't even want to play the rest of the season. So you just have to be so careful. Nobody is perfect. There's going to be bad calls, but you know what? There's going to be bad calls in your favor too. It all works out,
It all works out.
So, keep a good attitude about it, because again, that is a teaching moment right there. Your child will see you go, yeah, you were right. That was a bad call, but you know what? That happens and it's okay. We're not going to get all crazy.
And sometimes, like I've been in coaching for years, and like you just stated, and parents don't realize this, but then when we as coaches see attitudes from kids, and then when we see parents act the way that we see your kid acting in practice, and now we say, okay, we see where he or she gets it from,
Exactly.
So you become a product of your own kid, or as being a role model, and your kid looking at everything, your actions, your movement, your wording.
Yeah.
all of that. And so, like I said, sometimes you got to take that big look into the mirror when the kids are acting out.
So it's a good time to look before the season starts. Get right, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. We demonstrate what was demonstrated to us. It is just completely natural. So, yeah, so if your kids are out there being, little stinkers, they're going to know where that's coming from. Right? I don't know why I got on that, but I just had some flashbacks, But I loved, like I said, sports. It teaches them so much because it teaches, being on a team, teaches them responsibility. They look at the clock. They're like, "Oh, we got to go. We can't be late."
Be on time. Being on time for a job is very, very important because if you don't, what happens? You get rolled up or you get fired after so many, showing up late. So it's like I said, it goes hand in hand.
And then, of course, there's all the health stuff that goes along with that, staying hydrated, getting up early and getting hydrated. There's just so much to it. It's not just, okay, we're going to just go out and play,
Yeah. And especially with the heat the way it is. And like with the league, we had to, take a lot of things into consideration with the heat index this week. So we pretty much cancel practice just for the safety of the kids. If it's that hot Saturday, the games will be cut short. They won't be because typically they go for an hour.
Oh, okay.
So we'll cut it probably 15 minutes or so, and then allow 5-minute water breaks.
Is it supposed to still be warm? Because I thought it was supposed to be cool.
It's going to cool down some, but still, kids don't understand what hydration is at 6 years old. So you, as an adult, you always got to take that into consideration. Like they can't tell you, they just going to go out, run, and play.
Do you know how many hours before you play that you should start hydrating?
When I play sports, like our pregame meal and everything else was always like a 3-hour prior to. So, because
I know my brother, he used to coach his girls, and he would wake them up early, like, all right, start hydrating now. He would be really good about that. So we have to watch that too, because it's very easy to just forget about that, and we don't. All right, we're going to take a station break because it is 7:15. And again, this is Lee Marie in for U-Turn Laverne on 1 Street Over. And let's hear about Barry and Rebecca.
Barry and Rebecca Richards are with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Now, what does that mean for you? That means you got a great team that's going to come to the table with you, whether you're buying or selling, or maybe you want to be mentored to be a realtor yourself. They would love to bring you in and make you part of the family, whether it be you're looking for a full-time change or just want to do something part-time. Now, if you're coming to the table as somebody that's selling, you've got to consider, get one chance to make a first impression. Barry's going to make sure you make that first impression absolutely perfectly. He is a Zillow certified photographer, licensed and insured drone pilot. We can do the 360-degree virtual reality home tours. We'll get you up on realtor.com. People are going to see your property. They're going to want to take a second look. Rebecca, one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist, which illustrates she studies all the time, staying up to date on what she needs to know to properly represent you. You can find them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy.robertsoncounty.com, or just give Becky a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, and always tell them U-Turn sent you.
All right, we are back in studio with David Walker from the Springfield Flag Football League. Is that what? Robertson County Football League. All right. And we were talking at break about the other advantages, to being on a sports team for kids. And, not only all the health and just learning responsibility, but also keeping them occupied so that they don't get into some other, bad situation, because we know that just one bad kid, one bad friend, and they can go down, another path.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, I tell parents all the time, I work in Robertson County Juvenile Court. And so when I'm having to sit down and meet with families and, with having kids of my own, our kids pick up habits elsewhere, knowing that we didn't teach them those habits. So if you really look at your kids' days when they go to school, they spend more time with their peers than they do their parents.
That's a good point.
So they are picking up some of those habits, through their peers, So one of the things is, like, one of the good things I think with this flag football league is that, like, for an example, I had a kid that came to my office with a parent, You know, he was just defiant, unruly. You know, dad was just like, what can we do? And, you know, I started brainstorming because I always feel like kids act out for a reason.
Exactly.
You know, like not all kids are bad. You know, it's a reason. And to try to scratch that surface to figure out like what's going on with the kid. So speaking with the dad, and we got to talking, and, you know, he got placed in an alternative school for something that he done in his main school. And we got to talking. So then I told him, I said, well, you know what? I said, we starting this flag football league because he wanted to participate in sports and he couldn't. So like you said, that sports meant a lot to him. So his energy level, his wanting to participate level, everything just started to decline. So I told him, I said, well, we starting this flag football league. We got sponsorship because there was people that donated money that say, hey, I don't have a kid, but I'm going to sponsor $75 for a kid to play. So as a board, we took that in consideration. If we had any kids that needed sponsorship, then we'll sit around and discuss, you know, why this kid needs the sponsorship. Why should this kid get the sponsorship? So when I took it to the board of why this kid should get it, just because of the declining that the parent said that he was having. So we offered him sponsorship. And then I told the kid that, you know, you're going to be my experiment. You know, from when we started our mentoring program, I said, I want to use you because he's 14 years old. So he's right there at that age of needed to be, you know, put back on the right track. So we signed him up for the flag football, and I was actually out to the park. It was a couple of weeks ago during practice, and I went over and, you know, and spoke to him. But, you know, he was practicing, so I didn't want to interrupt. So his dad walks up. So when his dad walks up, and he was just like, man, I just want to thank you for, you know, for this. I said, well, how's he been doing? He said, man, he got a job now. He's working. He got his PlayStation back, and he want to come and tell you all the great things that he's doing. So it's like I said, it's just taking the time to put the energy into the kids and trying to figure out what's disturbing them, what's going on with them, and then just saying, hey, I'm going to be your support. You know, I'm going to push you in the back to make sure you do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I think they appreciate that a whole lot.
Right.
And then they gravitate towards that type of positive, you know, and they do good. And then it's when you applaud them, you know, just don't get on to them when they do bad, but just when they start doing good things, you know, you make sure you tell them that they're doing good things so they can continue to do great things.
That made my eyes water because, you know, you don't know. And it doesn't take much sometimes just to push someone in another direction. You know, Dr. Arlen Smith, who drives a bus for the schools here, you know, he had someone come up to the grocery store who was now an adult, but who he had driven, you know, and the child said, well, the adult said, you know, Dr. Arlen, I'll never forget you talking to me one day because that changed my whole life path and it straightened me out. And he didn't even remember, you know, because he's been driving for like 20 years and he didn't remember the particular conversation, you know, so it doesn't even have to be, you know, something big. But, you know, kids are so thirsty. Well, I mean, everybody is, but, you know, they just, you know, some positive direction can totally change their trajectory.
Yep.
So
that's one of the biggest things that I always say is just, you know, we're going to plant this positive seed in your brain. And we're going to water it so it can grow, you know.
Now look at that. You know, he then has a job and he's totally behaving.
Parents is happy, you know. And like I said, it just hope he stays on that right track.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, like you stated earlier, no one is perfect, you know. And like he allowed to make a small hiccup next week. But let's get him back on the right track because now we know what he's capable of doing.
Right. And people like to be challenged, you know, and I think that was one thing. I was having a conversation with someone the other day just about, you know, so many kids these days, it seems, you know, a lot of them are on their phones or their games, you know, instead of like, you know, out maybe working the farm or, you know, like back in the day, there was a lot more other physical activities that were good for our body because, you know, just making those endorphins happen and everything. But, you know, when we're shut in too much in the house just with electronics, you know, it's not that good for us, you know, our attitude, you know. So I think that's one disadvantage that kids have today. I mean, a lot of stuff is just so easy. You know, we don't have to work all of the crops and everything, you know, to get stuff. But that is so great that you have that avenue for them, and that's brand new here.
Yeah, it's brand new here in Robertson County, and like I said, we are trying to connect with anybody that's working with the youth, you know, because I feel like we can all have our separate entities, but we all are trying to do the same thing. But why not join our resources? Why not join forces to make it more powerful and helpful? Because it might be something that we don't offer, but the next program offers, you know. And one of the groups that, you know, we've been, you know, looking to work with and speaking with is Chosen. And I don't know if you ever heard of the Chosen. It's a mentoring program where they actually take kids out on field trips, teach them how to cook. I mean, it's a great group. So like we are just now getting started and, you know, looking at ideas. And one of the ideas that came across my mind, I went to a conference a week ago in Knoxville, and one of my close friends that does the same type of job that I do, me and him was talking, and he started a nonprofit, and it was called Game Changers. And I was like, hey, what is Game Changers? What does that consist of? And he said, well, we join with the YWCA, and we teaching young men about domestic violence. So, you know, it's just another light bulb that went off like, okay, you know, this is another angle that our mentoring program can take, is try to connect with the YWCA. And just like I said, any other programs that's involved with the youth, like how can we help and how can we feed off of each other? So,
well, yeah, even decisions, choices, and options. I don't know if you've seen them, but I'll send you that in a text. So I don't have a lot of time to go into that, but they're another group. I mean, it'd be great even if like some of these could have some tables out at the center.
Yeah.
You know, just to kind of give out literature so people know about those other, you know, wholesome options.
And all they have to do is just reach out. You have my cell phone number. They can reach out. Somebody want to set up a table, because I think Vol State maybe wanted to come out and set up a table as well. Like, we're not opposed to any of it. We just trying to bring something different to Robertson County, to where families can come out, enjoy. And, you know, a lot of these kids will never get to go to Bridgestone to see a concert, you know? So trying to bring concerts to the backyard of our own community so people can get out and enjoy.
That's awesome. Very cool. Now, once the league gets going, I think it'd be really fun. And I don't know, maybe Laverne's already talked to you guys about this, but it should be fun to have a couple of the players come in, be on the radio.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm all about that, because I even told her, it's just like, because even part of the mentoring program, we would love to take them around to professionals. And if they into podcasts, broadcasts, or whatever, to be able to sit down and ask the questions that they need to ask. So,
yeah, field trips are great, you know, or, you know, just even shadowing, you know, if there's some kids that are maybe interested in a particular job, you know, I love seeing, you know, kids shadowing adults, because sometimes, you know, people go to school or college, whatever, for something, and then afterwards they go, well, I don't really want to do that, you know. So I think it's really great to get them out as much as possible. Like, you know, if you think you might want to be one of these three things, let's make appointments to go and watch each one of those, you know, because you might go, oh, yeah, that's not what I want.
and that's what Chosen done this summer. Like,
they
came to the government building, they went to the city hall, they went to the police department, and they had probably, I say, 20 plus kids.
Nice.
Where they brought them to our courtroom, and then they was able to ask questions. I mean, there was some really, really great kids, and then like they can be future leaders, and that's why trying to connect with organizations that's already doing the same thing, to where we can put a lot of positive peers into the school, teach them so they can go back and teach their peers, because it goes back to what I was saying earlier. You know, our kids learn more from their peers than they do their parents.
That's a very good point. All right, we're at 25 minutes after. We're going to do one more commercial break. While that's happening, you can look through and see if there's anything else you want to mention. And then when we come back, we'll also mention how they can go to that fundraising event as well. All right, let's see here. How about Veterans Motocross?
It's time to go to the races here in Robertson County. If you want to have a great time with your family, get out to Veterans Motorplex. This is the old Highland Rim Speedway you're familiar with at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. Jerry wants to invite you and your entire family out. He's even got a free pass for you. If you find one of these Let's Talk Trash magazines that they put out at the end of the school year, you can still find them around town, but that back page is a free pass to get up to 6 kids and 2 adults in for free anytime during the entire 2023 race season. Bring your family out. Gates open at 4. Racing starts up at 6, and you will have so much fun. Come hungry. They got a great concession stand. They have all kinds of events and things for the kids throughout the race season. Follow them on Facebook at Highland Rim Speedway, and that way you can stay up to date on everything that's going on at Veterans Motorplex. A great way to spend your Saturday evening with your kids, with your family, with your friends through the end of October. Get to the races today. Saturday is race day, and when you go out, tell them U-Turn sent you.
Okay, we are back in studio with David Walker from the Robertson County Flag Football Group. And we're just talking that this Saturday is the day, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's for the Huddle Gym and opening day for the kids.
Now, if people want to get tickets, how do they do that?
If they want to get tickets, you can go to Eventbrite. You can do a Google search and Huddle Jam will pop up. We will have tickets the day of at the center. That address is 401 North Main Street. So when you get to the door, if you hadn't purchased a ticket, you will be able to purchase a ticket. We'll have a QR code available for you to scan to purchase a ticket.
Okay, so like they could do PayPal or something?
Yes, ma'am. They can do a PayPal. Okay. I don't know if we have Venmo set up, but I know we have PayPal set up for sure.
Okay, and then are the seats aren't reserved, so you can just sit anywhere?
It's first come, first serve. So if you buy a floor ticket, then you'll have a special band for the floor ticket, and it'll be seats on the floor, and then you can just first come, first serve. Okay, so the doors are open at 5 o'clock.
Okay, doors open at 5, and it starts at 6?
Starts at 7.
Oh, starts at 7. Okay, and then what's in between 5 and 7? Is that when they can meet some of the?
Well, when they come, I think the way the artists are set up, if you get the VIP table, that's where the meet and greet comes in with the artists. Okay. General admission and floor seats don't get to meet the artists. Okay. So
and when do the cheerleaders come out?
The cheerleaders are actually that morning at 9 o'clock.
Oh, at 9.
When all the kids, so we're gonna do, how the football players run through the paper. Oh. So we doing that for all the kids is gonna come out of like a little tunnel with the Titans cheerleaders. Okay, so the cheerleaders will be at that. Okay. They'll be at the flag football opening day.
Okay, and anybody can go to that, even if
anybody can come, and it's like I said, it's free hot dogs. We'll have drinks, water. So just come out in the morning before it gets hot, and you
have a donation bucket there too, in case anybody wants to donate.
We don't have one, but that's a great idea.
Right by the hot dogs.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Say, hey, free hot dogs, but we do have a donation bucket,
Thank you for that. That's a great idea.
All right. We are at 8:30 or 7:30. I'm used to 8:30 because I have a go show every Wednesday. And so I'm always on 8 to 9, but Laverne's show is 7 to 8. So it is 7:30. Well, David, thank you so much for coming on and telling us all about it. It was such a pleasure to meet you. I'll be praying for your group, and I'll just look forward to seeing everything that comes from that.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. And you can purchase you a ticket too now.
All right, there we go. Excellent. All right, see you soon. Take care. God bless. All right, we're going to have some more guests come in. So while we do, why don't we just hear about Cumberland Connect?
Robertson County, it is time to join the Gig Club. Get Cumberland Connect. If you are a Cumberland Electric customer, well, good news. You can join me in the Gig Club, and you can have a full gig for just $80, high-speed internet that will blow you away. If you're like me and you've had terrible internet service for far too long, well, it's time to get in the Gig Club. Now, what you do is you go to cumberlandconnect.org, put in your zip code, cumberlandconnect.org, and it'll tell you if they're in your neighborhood already or when they're going to be in your neighborhood. You can also just call them and ask the question, 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362. And if you're somebody in these areas, if you're a Cumberland Electric customer and you're having some financial struggles, well, because internet is now a utility, there's an affordable connectivity program providing qualifying households with monthly credit to help pay for internet services. And if you're eligible, you could receive a credit of up to $30 per month toward broadband services. And they have packages starting at, you guessed it, $30 per month. Be a part of the Gig Club or just get into high-speed internet with Cumberland Connect. CumberlandConnect.org. Tell them U-Turn sent you. Robertson County.
Okay, we are back, and I am so excited to have both Brian and Tiffany here. Welcome.
Good morning.
Microphones work? And both microphones are working.
Are we hot?
Yep.
We're hot.
Yep.
In many ways, we're hot right now. So Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So United Way comes in pretty much every Thursday at 7:30, right?
Yeah, most Thursdays.
All
yeah.
right. All right. So what's going on?
Yeah.
Well, the heat for sure. And our biggest thing with that is that Tuesday, August 29th, so next Tuesday, we are doing a giveaway with Electrolux air conditioning units. The thing is, you got to get your voucher before. So when you're dying in the heat today, and I know it's hard to get out when it's hot because I had to go around and hang up more flyers yesterday, and my air conditioning in my car is not working. So I know it's like for at least a few minutes to live without air conditioning in my car. And you don't want to get out when it's hot, but please go, especially like the library will be open this weekend. The YMCA will be open this weekend. Get your vouchers. The giveaway is on Tuesday where we've got a lot of vouchers out, but we still have quite a few left. So please go and get a voucher Tuesday at 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. You can go to 10 Kids Nutrition, which is 1006 Pepper Street, and get a window air conditioning unit. Hopefully it'll help some people in this oppressive heat that we're experiencing right now. It has been so hot.
But it feels like today is starting to cool a little bit. Yeah.
Tomorrow it's supposed to be 100.
Really?
I think today are the two hottest days, actually. So,
Really?
Yeah. That's according to the phone. Today's 98. Tomorrow's 98.
I'm glad you told me that because somebody yesterday told me, oh, yeah, tomorrow,
No,
Thursday was going to be cooler.
Sunday is it's gonna be Sunday before it breaks. So.
Oh, my goodness. Thanks for telling
A few
me.
more days of it. Yeah.
Yes.
Go home and put the dogs in the house.
Nice warm summer in the South.
By break, we don't really mean like fall yet.
No fall. No.
It's still going to be hot. It's still going to be
No,
hot.
you just be able to walk outside without passing out. So, yeah. It's going to be good.
Still going to be hot. So please come get your air conditioning units.
All right. So just reminders, be sure you're hydrating.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, school's letting out early the rest of this week because the buses don't have air conditioning. My husband's a bus driver, so he spends about 6+ hours a day, and he's like, it's a metal oven basically with a bunch of sweaty little children. So those kids are hot. Those bus drivers who do the multiple routes, they're dying. So it's been really nice though because a lot of teachers will come bring them water when they stop to pick up the kids, and a lot of people have really been thinking of them. So way to go, Robertson County. I'm pretty impressed with the thoughtfulness.
I know I've never understood this. So the buses, I rode it from first grade pretty much until my friends were driving and I could catch a ride. Never had AC, but the heaters on those things could warm a small country. Why is, I don't understand. Like they're the best heaters. I mean, it was just blazing infernos in there the entire time. So
you have sweaty bodies in the summer and sweaty bodies in the winter.
Roll the windows down in the winter to just escape from the heat of.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Or draw pictures on the windows because they have fogged up.
Fogged up so
good.
bad. Yeah. Bless your husband for getting the kids to school in this mess. So
Mm.
I'm glad they're letting them out. And I don't know, is that helping? Like letting them out
I
early?
think so. I mean, 4 o'clock is the
It's
hottest time
heat
in
of the day.
today.
Yeah.
So like it definitely gets him home. But by the time he gets home, man, he doesn't want to do anything but sit under some air conditioning and drink some water. So it's hot.
All right. So what else do we got going?
Do you have any other?
That's it. All right.
We got all. That's it. We're done. We're done.
Good chat.
All right.
No, but I do want to give a shout out to those partner agencies. So you can go to the YMCA, the library, Mid-Cumberland, COPE, United Ministries, or the juvenile courts to come get a voucher. So those partner
And
agencies,
Cope being the store or Cope being the realtor?
the thrift store, yeah.
Okay, you got to
The
specify
agency,
that.
that's good. That's
All
good,
right.
yeah, because in my world, Cope is the thrift store that helps.
We love you, Ed, but he doesn't have any vouchers.
Yeah. Unless you want to be a voucher spot, Ed would be happy to hook you up. But yeah, so yeah, my world, we talk about Cope every single day. They're doing such great work. And so all those agencies do amazing work. And so and
I was in there yesterday and the school supplies were half off. And there was a sign up that said this weekend, I think clothes are half off. So just
shoes and
saying.
clothes, I think.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So go in and get you some vintage threads.
Get you some good stuff. And while we got a minute, I mean, because I know we got a little time today, if you've got stuff you want to bring back, take it to Cope. And I'm not discounting. Goodwill does good work, but that's a for-profit company. Cope is a strictly nonprofit. It's one of our partner agencies. It's volunteer run, and all of the proceeds that go from their sales go to help people in this community. So if you're cleaning out stuff and you want to get out in your garage when it's 1,000 degrees this weekend and clean some stuff out, take it up to Cope.
Take it to Cope.
Yeah, we take our stuff up there, and They're fantastic. They're back there sorting it. They'll tell you to put it, and it's just you know that it's going right back into your community.
That's a really good point because a lot of people just say Goodwill, Goodwill.
Goodwill's fine. They do good.
Wait, I just want to correct one thing. Goodwill actually is a nonprofit, and it is one of our partners.
I thought they were a for-profit company. I was told they were a for-profit company.
Well,
anyways, I
anyways.
will say this. I was told their CEO makes quite a bit more than Cope's CEO. Is that correct?
That is true.
Okay.
That is 100% true. I
was told they were a for. Do we need to do a fact check on that?
All right, we're gonna do a
fact check.
Yeah,
on
we'll do.
Goodwill because
During a break, I will Google search that.
I will definitely.
How are they? I didn't know. How are they a partner of
Oh
ours?
my, they're one of our
All
partners.
right, I'm going to have to separate you guys, but
no.
In
Let's-
Robertson County, they're one of ours.
They are.
Since when?
In
This
fact,
year.
I just got this account for the new funding cycle.
This year, they were.
Yes.
this
oh,
thing.
okay, it's a new
So,
thing.
No, I think they've
Tiffany
been
and I need to
partners
spend more
before.
time together.
Yes,
That's
apparently.
okay.
The
But
career
here-
services portion.
Yes, that's a part
Okay.
that we support. Is
Yeah.
that
I know Kelly, and I've worked with her.
okay.
So okay,
Kristen Baker? And Andrew, they're doing great work.
they do good work.
Actually,
I'm not discounting Goodwill.
They're keeping a lot of our families housed right now that would not be able to be housed, and so they are doing a great work. So I just have to stand up for them when
There you go.
because I was one of those people. I used to knock United Way and Goodwill, all those places.
United Way.
Oh yeah, because if you look at National United Way, there's some
they like support Planned Parenthood and some
there's
bad
scandals
stuff. Yeah.
and some stuff when you look at the big picture. And me learning that United Way actually really is a local thing. Like our local United Way does local things, and it's not some big national corporation thing. And so I just know
There are a lot of misconceptions. This is good.
yeah.
This is actually a good segment. There are
It
a lot of
is.
misconceptions about a lot of nonprofits, and so
That's true.
that's one thing.
That's absolutely.
I've been told that United Way just supports all of our money goes to the Catholic Church. That's
Oh,
that's
okay,
what
yeah.
that's what I was told
Yes.
because in some United Ways in the country where the Catholic charities are more prevalent, like in the Northeast, they probably do partner with them, but that's in their specific area. So
And we do
Yeah.
have some partnerships with
Yeah.
the Catholic Charities. Catholic Charities is great work.
fantastic. Yeah.
Great work. Fantastic
Again,
work.
the misconception. So I'm doing some Googling.
Yeah. So but if you're running a nonprofit that big, I'm gonna put a little shout out for people working at nonprofits. Like sometimes if you're solving the problems of the world, you should get paid for what you do. I'm just saying. I used to think that as long as nobody was making any money, then it was a good nonprofit. But if you're not solving the problem, then like it's okay to pay talented, smart people to help solve the problems out there. So
Okay, and then the bottom line of where to take your stuff. It is better to take it.
Either works, but
it's better to take it to Cope because it does come. We get more bang for our buck because
Well,
it's,
right back to our
Right back
they
to our
are
community.
strictly volunteer run, and
Yeah,
so we're talking about resources is what I'm talking about. That's why I always just promote that. Goodwill does obviously a lot of good things, and I've taken things to Goodwill also, but Cope is just strictly volunteer run.
and also like yesterday, Cope was not taking donations. So
Sometimes that happens.
one day Josh went to go drop stuff. I was like, Cope's not taking
Yeah.
donations today. I'm like, there's no shame in dropping it off at Goodwill. Like,
Zero.
We need
Yeah.
to get it out of our
Well,
car.
Because it is volunteer run, sometimes they get, when they have like spring, when everybody's cleaning out their stuff and they get overwhelmed with stuff, they have to sort through all that.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they get backed up a little bit and they can't accept anything. And so, yes, I've taken things to Goodwill also. I just try to promote them because they're local.
Right.
And I know they're volunteer run.
100%.
And I know exactly where the money is going. So that's all right. No knock on, no. And I learned something today too.
Yes.
So we need to spend more time together. perhaps. Maybe that's it.
I'm just trying to make sure because there are a lot of misconceptions. But yes, Cope. I am obviously Cope is a partner, and I'm a big fan, and I have a lot of wonderful things to say about Cope. But
There you go.
All right.
That ended up being good.
all right. What else?
We are jumping into campaign season, which is the fundraising portion. We fundraise throughout the year, but typically fall is traditionally when the United Way has run our campaigns. And so what our campaigns are is we partner with our corporate partners and we get in front of their employees. There's traditionally a kickoff. And then they have a designated time where they raise funds, and we can do that through paper pledge forms. We can do that through. We have a mobile call site. We have a site we can set up where we can get you a link and you can give there. That's what we did for our internal campaign. It's called ePledge. So there's several ways that you can do that. But really, what we appreciate about that is it's an opportunity for us, Tiffany and I. We usually have maybe even a partner agency and we can educate their employees on services that are available in their community and things that are available to them or to their family members. Obviously, we need to raise money because it is the backbone of what we do so that we can fund our partner agencies properly, like Cope and Goodwill. Come to find out, it's amazing news to me. But it is that season, and so if you are interested in partnering with the United Way, campaign's a great way to start. We also have 3 days of action per year. We just completed the back to school portion of that. Coming up this fall, we'll have Give Thanks. Those are great toe dipping opportunities for companies like, I'm not ready to do a full on campaign, but I do want to support your efforts. Then you can just do that, and you can build the kits right there in your office. It's a great employee engagement opportunity. You can just give funds to it. You can come volunteer for it. There's several ways to get involved. And so if your company's interested in it, please contact me, 615-780-2401, 615-780-2401. That will ring straight to my cell phone. I'm very rarely in the office these days, and be glad to talk to you about that. But it's a great way to get involved in your community. It's a great way for your employees to get engaged. And I promise you will have a happier and more dedicated workforce if they see that the company they work for has some skin in the game here in this community. So please give me a call.
And we're also always trying to help set people up with volunteer opportunities. In fact, the varsity basketball coach from Springfield High reached out to me the other day, and he's like, where can my players plug in? Because I believe it's important for players to give back to their community. And so they're actually going to help Cope with their season drop. So Cope changes out all their clothes twice a year. And so they're going to go help with that. I'm super excited.
Speaking of that, when they do the change of the seasons, you can get fabulous deals.
Absolutely. If you're a big thrifter like I am, because I got 5 kids, I work for a nonprofit, my husband drives a bus. You can only imagine. we are thrifters, and so you can like fill up bags. I think usually when they do that, so that they have to like take down and store and stuff like that. So yeah, come to Cope, shop Cope.
Who's the coach now? You remember his name? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, you put me on the spot.
It's all right. I know he's new. He's new. That's why I'm asking.
Community.
That's really cool that he's doing that. That's why I was gonna try to reach out to. So no, I didn't mean to mess you up there. My bad.
You're good. You're absolutely good. So we're super excited about that. So yeah, if you're also looking, and we can do that with corporations. In fact, Johnson Electric reached out to me last week. They were having. They run they're around the clock organization, and so they were doing for each shift they were doing a barbecue to feed their employees. And Andrew Small over at Johnson Electric reached out, and he's like, "We're gonna have like 400 leftover hot dogs and hamburgers after we feed everybody. Where can we donate that?" And so I hooked him up with Master's Table, and I saw the picture of like the back of like this, I don't know if it's a Subaru or something, just to the brim with sides and buns and hot dogs and stuff. So really, if you're looking for anywhere to plug in with whatever excess you have, whether it's money, time, hamburgers, whatever it is, feel free to reach out. And I love helping make those connections. It's an important part of what we do at United Way. We are united. That's our whole thing. Bring the community together.
So question for you.
Yes.
What happens if, like, say it's a, Saturday at 5:00 and somebody's got a whole bunch of extra food? Is there a Facebook? Like, can they message on Facebook? Like, can they get a hold of somebody?
All of us, it goes directly from my cell phone. So
okay, so they can
my thing
still
stays connected. I answer my phone all the time to the chagrin of my wife, but it's part of what we do. There are limitations as far as like timing, because typically what we're going to do is, like Tiffany said, we're going to connect you with one of our partner agencies that's doing those direct services in the community. And so sometimes it doesn't line up just perfectly, but to echo what she just said, always check. You never know. Okay. Like there may be a golden opportunity. It's like, you know what? Actually, they just asked me if they had, and the resource just lines up. And that happens more than you know, where it's like one person has excess, one person's needing it, and we can help be the bridge builders, right?
That's
right.
what we do here.
Right. So yes, please call.
That's good to know, because a lot of events.
The Facebook thing. Do you have access?
I do have access to our Facebook. It's not my preferred way to communicate.
Okay.
I'd much rather you text me at 615-780-2511. I will get that faster than any.
One more time on that phone number.
615-780-2511.
Okay. So texting is better.
Texting is best, because half the time I might be in a meeting and not be able to answer a phone call, but I can, like, it'll pop up and I'll be like, I can just text that back real fast.
Well, and that's good to know, because, a lot of events happen on the weekends. And so you would think, United Way is closed. But you
The
can
better
text
way to
them.
do that
and-
would be to arrange prior to, like if you think you're going to have some excess or something, like give a call during the week and say, look, we're having this event Saturday. We think there's going to be some excess. What do we do with that excess? And maybe put a plan together. I think that would probably be a better
That's
route.
exactly what happened with Johnson Electric. Like after their first shift, I think of feeding people, they realized that they had overbought, and so they're like, okay, we're going to be done with this at 4:30 in the morning. There's that, what do we do then? So I connected him with Amma West ahead of time, and so she was able to take it, and they were able to turn around and feed people that day with
Wow, that's
what
awesome.
they had left over. And so absolutely, Anthony Griggs is the Springfield High coach, just so you know.
I want to reach out to him. So, and just that's cool that he's doing that already.
Yeah, he's like, I just feel strongly about that. But yeah, so if there's a way that you want to give back to the community, anyway, so we're super excited. We also have Goodwill is. We're really trying to focus on our partners this year, or not. We're trying to focus on all of our partners, but our nonprofit partners that are like Goodwill, Big Brothers Big Sisters, American Red Cross, YMCA, that like are not just in Robertson County, but that are that we but do have a presence here. And so I'm glad that we brought up Goodwill and that they are a partner of ours.
It's educational this morning.
Have you had the Big Brothers Big Sisters ever come on with you guys here?
We should do that.
We would love that. And I was a big for years, and and still.
Well, yeah, you should bring.
I would love
bring
to.
'em in.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable program, and it does so much, and it has a huge impact. Just by giving a little bit of time, per week to a child, you can make just an incredible impact. So I would love to bring them in. I'd be glad to sit in and on that one and share experiences, and it's just a fantastic program. So
Yeah, we should do that. That'd be awesome. We, in fact, beginning of the school year, we definitely want to plug all of our ways to plug in with children right now, because there's not just one way. There's so many mentoring programs, which I'm super excited about in Robertson County. First off, I'm going to plug Raise Your Hand. My kids were all struggling readers. And luckily, I was able to homeschool, and so I was able to sit with them for hours and want to poke my eyes out. And I wish I would have had somebody else to relieve me of that a little bit, because it's really hard when kids struggle to sit and listen to them sound out the same word 15 times in a row. But so we have Raise Your Hand. That is a United Way program, and it's in 8 schools this year. And so we're super excited. If you're looking, the commitment's 1 hour a week. I think most of us have an hour a week that we spend scrolling on Facebook that we could actually pour into a child instead. And so that's one of our ways to give back to children in our community. Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
So what exactly is it? Is it they are tutors for readers?
Yes, reading and math, actually. Okay. So we have both, and their scores were amazing last year. How much each of those kids improved by participating in that program. Mm-hmm. I think it was like in the 80-something%, they really were able to, once they got that one-on-one attention. I can't imagine teaching a kid to read without that one-on-one attention, because that was what I was able to do. And the year I had, when I had twins, it was like way harder to try to teach both of them to read at the same time. And so luckily I still was able to sit with them one-on-one, but like a lot of the kids in the classroom don't have that. And a lot of their parents, when they go home, their parents have been working all day. They're exhausted. There's a lot of bandwidth spent, on those parents, and especially if you got any single parents where they're trying to support the family entirely and raise all the kids and all the things. Sitting down for 20 minutes, and for me, 20 minutes with each of my kids is an hour, and so it's a lot. Mm-hmm. And so if you can go in and donate an hour.
And so they go during the school day to some.
No, it's actually after school.
Oh, it is after school.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
We will have Marquetta Eccles is the person that runs that program here in Robertson County with the United Way, and she's actually going to come in here on September 7th, and we'll give. She's been in before, but we'll give a comprehensive look at it. But it is a great program. We had 5 schools last year with 8 this year. And so the volunteer need has also gone up. And I was talking, there's quite a bit, like we need a bunch of volunteers for that. So that's something we will probably be beating the drum around here a lot, is we need some volunteers. And again, you're giving up an hour of your time. If you're retired and want to do more, there could be those.
That's a great idea. Yeah. So is there like a flyer about that, or a link?
Contact me and we'll get you connected.
Yep. Okay.
You can also go to our website.
Just type in Raise Your Hand.
Okay. And if there's people out there that like, hey, I want to get my kid into that program, do they go to that, see if their school has it, or are, like if they go to like one school and they don't have it, can they?
It is at specific schools because of financial things. But
Right now it's just 8 schools, and they're going to try to add. But last year was the first year they did the program here in Robertson County.
So they can reach out to you to find out what's
yeah, if they
their
want to reach
school.
out to me, and we'll connect you with Marquetta. She knows more, and she can kind of tell you all that stuff. But yeah, like you can just run it through me since I know my phone number, not Marquetta's off the top of my head.
But we'll bring her in, and she'll go through the program
be
again.
great.
And I know they're heavily recruiting right now. So if you are interested in volunteer, give us a call or come by, and we can definitely plug you in. Or go to the United Way of Greater Nashville website and just search "Raise Your Hand," and it has everything there to get started because they have to do background check and
Okay.
everything. So
Okay.
you can plug in right there. So that's probably going to be your quickest way to do it. If you're interested, United Way of Greater Nashville website, just go raise your hand.
Okay. And do you happen to know if there's any particular grades that they're focusing?
I do, but I don't know. Like I said, this is not our
Elementary
area.
school. That's elementary school.
Yeah.
Elementary. Okay.
So yeah.
Well, that's good because I know that those scores that came out that had us ranked 122 out of 142 for literacy for third graders. You know, out of all the 142,
That was here, right?
yes, out of all the 142 districts in the state, Robertson County came out 122. And then, you know, Tennessee is already at like 35 as far as states. So we definitely need help.
Come up. We used to be in the 40s. So way to go, Tennessee. We're getting better.
We're getting better slowly, right?
I'm better every time.
So yeah, if you're out there and you want to help bring up those numbers and help those kids because, you know, reading is so important for all the other subjects.
It's a huge focus, and it is one of our pillars. Obviously, we were joking around a little bit, but it is a huge focus, and it's something that we are investing a lot of time and resources at the United Way into the literacy and specifically the third grade issue. I know in Davidson County as well. So that will be something will continue to be a focus of ours moving forward for sure.
My daughter's in third grade, and she's kind of at that cusp between just getting reading right. And so last night we sat down with a book. My mom Zooms with her from Arizona every day and reads with her. And so sometimes my mom gives me homework. Last night was one of those nights. She's like, you need to read this story with her. And she's like, Mom, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm like, well, then we'll do it together. It's okay. Like, sit down. She read the story and her confidence level went up like so much. So if you really want to help raise the confidence of a child,
That's awesome.
helping them read and do math is a great way to do that.
All right, Brian just reminded me we have one more commercial to break. Thank you, Brian, for looking at your watch. I'm like, oh my goodness. Corbin Creek.
Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center, your one stop for everything you need for summer, for your yard, for your garden, beautiful things for your porch and your home. Great gift ideas. If you've got a gift that you need, go into the greenhouse. You're going to find something alive and beautiful, and then go into the office, go into the gift shop, and there you're going to find handcrafted items, some really cool stuff from Miss Jane, and you're going to find Robertson County CBD. CBD produced from plants grown right here in Robertson County by Amy's brother Bill. Those plants were grown by him, and that is processed into the products you find there at Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. I swear by them for my arthritis problems, and it may really be a game changer for you as well. Everything you need, if you've got questions and things that you just want to run by Amy, give her a call at 615-384-3185 or just stop by and see her at 4920 Highway 161. They're at the Farmers Market every week as well, and they're 9 to 5 right now, Monday through Saturday, 1 to 4 on Sunday. Got a vegetable garden that's going to be coming in anytime with fresh vegetables and produce. Go and see them today. Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Tell them U-Turn sent you.
Okay, we are back in studio with just a few minutes left. And speaking of education, there is an Improve Education in Robertson County meeting tonight, 6 p.m. at Purpose Life Church, and that's at 805 Memorial Boulevard. So if you just want to talk about other options that are out there, or if you want to, I don't know, maybe think about running for school board, whatever. I know that there is a group meeting at 6 o'clock tonight. That's tonight because today's Thursday. Oh, goodness. So anyways, 805 Memorial Boulevard in Springfield. Okay, you got a couple minutes left. So
I got more ways to plug on how to plug into our youth. It's some obviously I'm very passionate about. I've got 5 kids of my own. And there's nothing like seeing another adult take interest in your child and care about them and want them to succeed in life. And so there are a lot of ways to do that. So we talked about reading with them. We've talked a little bit about Big Brothers Big Sisters, which is another program that I am huge on supporting in our community. Another one of our United Way partners, but also just people who show kids that somebody cares about them. And then there's CASA. So if you specifically want to work with kids in the foster care system, maybe you're like me, I have a heart for foster care and foster parents, but it's not something I have the capacity to do in my life right now. Becoming a foster parent is not, I have my own 5 children at home, is not something that I have the bandwidth to do. So my way to plug into the foster care system is by becoming a CASA. And so that's something that I've been doing for over a year. I just saw my kids that I've been mentoring and loving on for the last year get adopted last week. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life, watching them find their forever home. They now have 2 big brothers and parents that care about them. And so it was a beautiful day at the courthouse. And so it's just really rewarding to see those kids and knowing their background and knowing what they've been through. And like, if I could share those stories on the air, there'd be a lot of people sick to their stomach right now of what these 2 little girls have gone through. And then just to watch them being adopted into a home that actually like really cherishes them as humans and loves them and supports them is fantastic. And if you're interested, they have a new class starting in September to train advocates. I think it's a fantastic class just on learning advocacy skills in general. I learned a ton from it. And even though I've been in child welfare for a lot of years of my career, anyway, it's a fantastic class. And so there is a 30-hour requirement for education up front, but then it's about 10 hours a week, depending on your case, or 10 hours a month. Sorry, I keep saying that wrong. 10 hours a month, depending on your case of time involved. Everyone wants to know, well, how much time is this going to take me? Well, 10 hours a month is another thing we probably all spend on Facebook that we could spend pouring into a child.
How old were the little girls that got adopted?
When they were adopted, they're now, let's see, her birthday is they're like 18 months and
A little bitty baby.
no, two. Two's the youngest one. She was 6 months when she came into custody, and the other one's 4.
Wow.
So yeah.
Now, if people are interested in being foster parents, do you guys have a contact in?
I can help connect you with where to go get.
Because like when you said forever home, I think about, on Facebook there's so many people trying to place dogs and cats. Forever home. I thought, we don't seem to put as much attention, into and there's so many kids that, the holidays are coming up. They'd love to have Christmas with a family, and so maybe we could also have a foster contact. I know there's not an organization here in this county, but if you partner with one, maybe we could still even bring them in because there's people in Robertson County that could foster, and this could encourage that.
Let me tell you, there's such a shortage of foster homes in Robertson County that when I was working for CASA, we had kids, and it's probably still the case, that were down in like Memphis, that were down. They have to stay in the state, but they were like as far away as you could possibly get in Tennessee. And so being a CASA where you want to go and build a relationship with that child, well, you got to drive 4 hours there and 4 hours back just to see the child in person. And there's just a lot less that you can do. Whereas if they're located in your county, you can go to their baseball games and you can, go and support and cheer them on.
What about just like adoption agencies? Do you partner with one of those for Robertson County?
We don't for Robertson County, but we can connect you with an adoption agency. If you're looking, it's awful to think that we have to do this with humans, but there are websites just like when you go to look for a dog and you go to like the Humane Society's website, there are websites like that for children where you can go and find a kid that does not, that is most of the time in the custody of, actually every time they're in the custody of the state with nobody that wants them forever. And so you can go and you can find a child that needs a forever home and learn about them. I went through this with one of my advocates as we went through home after home after home of interested families and finally found the right home for him.
All right, I just looked up and realized it's already 8:00. So it is time to go. But thank you guys so much.
Good to see you.
And I look forward to being able to interview again.
Yeah, for sure.
In the future. All right. Well, let me close in prayer like I always do. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for today. Thank you for these amazing guests that are just improving the lives here in Robertson County. We do pray for all of those children out there, Heavenly Father, that don't have a forever home yet. And we just pray that if you have it for one of these listeners right now to open their home and open their heart, we pray that happens, Heavenly Father. Thank you for this week, and please keep your hands on us and guide our steps. We love you. We praise you in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you soon. Brian and Tiffany from United Way, and they gave out their phone numbers a couple times, so you can go back and get that, put it in your cell phones. God bless. You've been listening to 1100 WSGI.
One street over there's a life I could have known. One beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I've been.
Yeah, here we go.